Stop thinking your husband cheats because he wants better sex. That entire narrative is wrong, and it's costing you everything. After 35 years of studying male behavior, I have uncovered something so counterintuitive that most therapists still haven't told you. Men do not cheat because they feel disconnected, they cheat because they feel disrespected. They don't look outward to replace their wives, they look outward to save their own souls from the crushing weight of shame. For decades we've been taught that infidelity is a symptom of poor intimacy. But the data tells a different story. Nearly every man surveyed believes that sleeping with someone else while staying in the house is the ultimate violation of honor. He doesn't want two lovers he fears looking like a fraud. So, why does he betray that code? Because somewhere along the line he stopped feeling seen. When a wife stops validating her husband's competence, starts criticizing him publicly, or treats him like a child needing constant instruction, she isn't fixing anything. You are slowly draining his battery. Think about your own life. Have you ever given unsolicited advice wrapped in helpful hints? Or worse, have you humiliated him in front of friends expecting him to rise to the occasion? Most women think this forces men to grow stronger. In reality, it triggers a phenomenon known as green emasculation. You strip away his status, his authority, and his ability to protect himself. Suddenly, he has nothing left but to run. He looks for a place where he won't be criticized, where he will finally be treated like a man again. And once he finds that void filled externally, there is no going back. This brings us to a hard truth about how you communicate. Stop assuming your commands work. If you tell a man to clean the garage, he either ignores it or does a terrible job. Why? Because men operate in a hyper-focused single-task mode fueled by testosterone. 90% of the world fades away while they concentrate on the mission in front of them. If you interrupt that laser focus with vague criticism or doing it all, wrong shuts down. His brain literally filters you out. He hears silence, sees defiance, and assumes rejection. Then comes the explosion. But here's the kicker: men respond differently depending on who speaks to them. If you criticize him, he blocks it out unless he respects you implicitly. But if he respects you and then delivers brutal, honest feedback, he goes nuclear. He weighs every word against his self-image. Does this mean he hates me? Is he incompetent? He shrinks inward, paralyzed by the threat to his identity. Real change never happens after a fight. Change happens when a trusted ally offers a clear roadmap, telling him exactly what to do step by step, making execution easy. Specificity builds reliability. Vagueness breeds rebellion. And let's talk about the game itself. Relationships aren't about love alone, they are about risk management. For a man, investing emotion is risky. Every day spent loving you could end in pain. So, he runs a cold cost-benefit analysis. Will the reward of our partnership outweigh the effort of keeping me humble and guessing your moods? If the answer is no, if you make him guess, if you punish mistakes, if you treat him like a project manager rather than a king checks out, he decides the ROI is too low. Meanwhile, women often crave instant gratification and emotional fusion. Men need delayed rewards. They need to see that their loyalty pays off. Give him credit for showing up. Acknowledge the attempt, not just the perfect outcome. Build his scorecard. Make sure he knows he wins big by sticking around. There is also a terrifying element of mortality driving much of this. Deep down, almost every man carries a shadow of impending death. Life seems pointless without a reason to keep fighting. Admiration is that reason. When you stop praising his strengths, you cut off the oxygen to his spirit. He begins to rot from the inside out, convinced his existence serves no purpose other than yours. That despair pushes him toward strangers who promise him worth. So, how do you fix this? First, drop the manipulation. Withholding affection to force obedience is a strategy used by predators, not partners. Second, understand that men are wired to avoid conflict at all costs. Often, the quietest guy in the room is the most terrified of hurting your feelings, masking his true desires to stay peaceful. Ask yourself honestly, am I pushing him away by demanding things he can't give, or am I giving him the space to prove his devotion? Third, set absolute boundaries. Tell him up front, if trust breaks, we break together. There is no gray area. Clarity attracts the committed, ambiguity feeds the cheater. Finally, listen closely to what he says. especially when he talks about his goals, his fears, and his vision. Perception is a filter. If you walk around hunting for flaws, you'll miss the gold sitting right next to you. Shift your gaze. Look for the virtues. Notice when he protects you, when he works harder, when he shows up. Validate that. Feed the beast. Because ultimately, men don't cheat because they hate their marriages. They cheat because they forgot how to love themselves within them. Restore their honor, validate their worth, speak with crystal clear direction, and watch the walls come down. Don't wait for the affair to happen. Fix the foundation now, or pay the price later. Choose wisely. Check out Profile for podcast summaries.